law dictates, of course, you have to do this. If not, the decision is up to you. You have to leave. Or
trust me, I didn't want to pay the dues.
I understand. With that being
happens in the town.
With that being said, good Lord, I think I understand what's going on now. And I look over to you, Perry. I look over to Perry, and I look back, and I look over to Merrick over my shoulder. Merrick, how do you want to spend your off time? Would you rather spend it in a bar getting drunk, settling a blood feud, or, I don't know, with a woman?
No. The blood feud sounds fine.
And I look over to the Lord, the cloak, and I say, well, sir, you have Lord Merrick's answer.
Well, let me sweeten the pot for you just a tad. Come back with information about my brother's whereabouts. I will give you 200 gold. You bring him back to me, I'll give you 5.
While this is going on, I quietly pull out another piece of paper and I start writing stuff down.
You realize, if I may, unless I just interrupted you, I'm sorry. Court says to the Lord Cloak guy, he says, you do realize that we're only going to be able to independently investigate on our off hours, right? We still have to keep our jobs and such, which may aid in what we need to do. But any investigation off of the estate during the party starts asking questions. And we don't want any of those questions being asked of the cloaks, correct?
I will see to it that your investigation of this matter stays very private. I have my ways.
500 if we bring you the girl, 200 if we find out what happened to your boy.
About this time, Perry spins the paper around and pushes it over to him.
The deal is 200 for the information of my brother and his whereabouts.
500.
500 if you bring him to me.
Please read.
He starts looking it over.
He's written up a contract while he's been sitting here of your exact terms that you just stated.
That's excellent, man. I love it.
Cut for 1 second. Do you have anything to drink, man? Somebody?
I made some tea. There's unsweetened tea in there. It's kind of warm. You'll need to get some ice probably.
Okay.
But
Well,
ice
I only
is in
had
the
those.
freezer.
I only had those 2 beers, so I need something to wet my whistle. Why? Oh my god! Oh my god! Y'all still have Jello shots.
Yeah, well,
Shit!
I'm not taking them.
No.
I'm good on the Jello shots. This is a fun group.
Yeah, this is a good one. We haven't even gotten to the action yet.
No. Well, I needed to put a lot of character development in real quick and try to get my feel for Perry.
Just for reference for my skills, my proficiencies is athletics, deception, intimidation, perception, persuasion.
One of the first things Perry would have wanted to do when he got into town, which I will go ahead and talk this now while we're not doing a meta game, would be research family histories, anything like that. So when we come back in, I'd like to make it a history roll on what I've discovered about the Kron family and this family and what's going on. Where I can kind of, once we get out of the bar, out of this guy's side, I can kind of give these guys the skinny about what I've learned, if I learn anything.
Absolutely.
I took the great weapons right.
If the meeting had taken much longer, I was going to pull out a book and just start reading.
I love it.
I was almost.
But once the money came out, he went,
I was almost to this point. Yeah, I was like really close to just being like, when you look over at Merrick, he looks like he's asleep. His head's bowed.
Man, what do weak old Jello shots taste like? I'm not willing to find out. I'm just
Orange.
asking. Orange.
No orange.
That's
Well,
all
Jello's
left.
it's just Jello and alcohol, so it's still probably good.
You're right. It's,
Yeah.
it's actually probably condensed down a little bit. You know, evaporated the Jello out.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Mm,
All right.
good for you. I apologize for interrupting again.
No, it's
I've
all
been
good.
disruptive tonight.
I say I don't mind.
I love this party though.
It's working pretty well.
I love court.
I know you
I know.
All right, so we're gonna come back in then.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
do. Excellent. All right. So, how do we want to?
You ain't been
I know
smoking
you
though.
stated that you wanted to do a little research. I'm going to assume you did all this before.
That's what I was kind of getting at. Yeah, like I once I got into town, what's the first thing Perry wants to do is learn he's a constant book reader. That's what he does. So, well, let's find out about the family.
Let's
So he's
make
going
a
to go
history
and
roll and see what you come up with.
that's a 23.
Excellent.
I'm
what
astute.
Yes, you are. What you find out is that the houses are like constantly changing in hierarchy. The Crom family's pretty steady, like right in the middle. They don't go real low, but they never get real high. I mean, if you had a class of 10, they pretty much stick around 6 and 7.
They're middle management.
Yeah, you know.
But they're consistent with
But
management.
because they are consistent is why the Saj is that
Mhm.
that household kind of wants them with them.
An ally.
They want in this tier. They're kind of a newer house, but they have money.
I believe our investigation probably shows that Saj's house isn't even on the map.
Not yet,
Not yet.
but that's why they're throwing this party.
Right, exactly. So the maneuverings for the Saj house and the cloaks are always in our best interest.
Game of Houses from Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like Menza Branzan.
Mhm.
Only instead of fighting each other for hierarchy, it's basically whoever throws the best parties and whoever has the city watch
Sure.
under their thumb. You know?
Right.
All right. So, knowing what you know, Nelvin suggests that you guys might want to start your investigation with the seamstress.
Sure. Benessi? Binary
Binary code.
Dynasty.
fucking D&D names, man.
Luckily, binary code is a language I took, so we're gonna have fun talking in ones and zeros.
No, it's fax
110
machine.
1010.
It's old modem called dial-up modem.
What's he doing? He's having a conversation.
I don't know, but he gets shit done, man. Sometimes it takes a while. You'll hear that a couple times before he gets all the information he needs.
He fails a lot, too.
Yeah,
You only get half the message.
that's what I'm saying. It takes him a while to compile it, but man, he's real thorough. All right. With that being said, then I guess we need to go to her house. Is that the first logical step here, guys?
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's actually going to be 3 houses down on the right. We're going to turn up the left road. It's about a 4-minute walk.
Okay.
Perry has very astutely even almost drawn a map for you.
Sure.
As you were walking, it was crazy. He was just like jotting stuff down, and he's like, "Here you go." So you know, it's very, very well drawn, even for walking. It's crazy.
Whenever he gives me that information, it's like as we're walking through the door to meet that fucking cloak guy, and I don't even look. I stick my hand out, and he drops some fucking info in my hand, and I look it over, and I go, "Good evening, sir." And that's how we start. When here he goes with the chair, and he goes, "That's how we start this shit." I'm pit boss.
I love
dude.
it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Okay.
All right, so you come to the door, and she seems to be at her house by herself.
All right.
No doorman, no guards, by herself.
So I rap on her chamber door.
She actually answered the door and says, "Can I help you?"
Good afternoon.
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, my lady. My name is Court Tenless. I think you might know who I am from the Saj estate.
Yes.
I'm going to need to speak with you
About what?
about the altercation that.
It'd be better if you take this conversation inside.
Well, it's in a doorway, correct?
Yes.
My lady, all we want to do is ask some questions to figure out what was going on.
I don't think I have any information for you.
Okay. I literally, but like, I do this. Are there people on the streets? Is this like, it's a residential area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what I do, man. I look to my left, look to my right, and I grab that bitch by her throat, and
Make an intimidation roll.
I push her inside.
Excellent. Make an intimidation roll.
Or would that be a grapple?
Well, first I want intimidation.
I asked.
Absolutely.
Okay,
You did.
so intimidation.
Yes.
I did ask. 22.
And she's very intimidated. Now make your make me a strength check.
Well, if she's intimidated, does she let us in without having to do that?
Well, all right. Here's how we do it. Since she is intimidated, she's not going to resist. In fact,
Okay.
you push her through the doorway,
Sure.
and you guys.
They go in, I shut the door and stand outside.
Okay. You go in with him.
I go in with him, and as soon as I get inside, I look around for suitable seating.
There are very comfortable chairs here.
Okay, I go off, and I don't go so far this time. I don't get out the rag, because I take it these are kind of padded chairs, or they
Very
wouldn't.
much so padded.
I just kind of give them a nice dusting with my hand. Really, really dusty.
No.
Pretty
Very
clean. I give a smiling kind of approval nod and push my glasses up and look over at Binancy or whatever binary code. Push my glasses up, give her a little nod, sit down, and immediately pull a book out of my travel stack and just flip it open.
May I?
I'm outside.
Okay. DM, may I? Is it fine if I feed off that, or
Absolutely, go ahead.
you? Okay. So I just step forward at that point. As we need to talk, you know where we're from.
Okay, as you have your hand on her throat.
Well, I didn't know if I needed to go there again.
Well, you said you put your hand on her throat.
I understand, but you had an intimidation check first. So if I intimidated her, maybe I don't need to do that.
No. That was the intimidation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's how I'm playing that.
Okay, no problem.
So, as you have pushed her in, you have pinned her up on the wall.
Mhm.
She's extremely intimidated. She goes, "I had the Hawks take him to the tower."
Okay. At that point, I'm sure I hear scribbling from a pen, a feather quill.
Perry is over there
Right.
scribbling something down furiously.
Okay.
I say, Mr. Potter, take a look around. Use every bit of those keen eyes and ears and all that gray matter in between, like I know you have, to pick up anything out of the ordinary. And I give him bardic inspiration. It's good for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Binary Betty and I are going to have a little talk in the common room. So I just take her into the common room, I back her into a common room, and I sit her down in a chair. And I let him do investigation throughout the house. And I'm going to be questioning her.
Okay.
And I believe Merrick is just on point. Yeah,
All right.
He doesn't care about all this.
right.
Perry never really says anything. He kind of gets up, gives you a nod, still carrying his book around and his pen, and kind of starts walking through the house. But he looks back after he takes about just the first couple of steps and goes, "Who made your table?"
I don't know. It was a family heirloom.
Do you mind?
Go ahead.
I look at it and try to see if there's any maker's marks, anything like that on it.
Investigate for me, brother.
Okay, in the meantime, you can go back to them if you guys want.
Sure.
I'm basically going to be looking around the house
Okay.
at this point.
Make me an investigation roll, and then we'll get back to you.
It's going to be a
Success.
21.
Absolute success. So I'll tell you what you find in a minute. Back to Mr. Tinless.
All right, Mr. Tinless. I sit here at